It's time to get your business in gear. Do you feel that sometimes you're in the right industry, but you're not attracting the right clients? Well, let's figure it out intimately with Tammeron is a 1-hour show presenting you with simple and basic tips to help you create a more intimate, fulfilling business and personal life. Now, here's your host, Tammeron.
Welcome to this fun-filled, interactive, intimate hour with me, Tammeron. I've created this show to provide you, my listeners, with some of the top experts in the world who can help us all create more fun, passion, and intimacy back into our professional and personal lives. Life is filled with endless lists of things to do, and we get so caught up in the pace of it all that sometimes we forget to let it all go and remind ourselves of what really matters the most. Things like, who do we want to spend our time with? What do we want to spend our time doing? And how can we make that time more fun, honorable, and pleasurable? And those are the questions that I ask myself a lot. And I'm sure you are feeling the same way. Many of us live crazy, hectic lives, and at some point we feel like something is just missing. And I think I found the answer for me in my life, and so I want to share that. And what I realized was that I was lacking deep intimacy in my life, and it was affecting my personal and my business relationships. And I felt lonely, misunderstood, and I felt that somehow I was dying on the inside. And how could that be? I knew that I was a genuine, caring, loving person, but how come I wasn't happy? How come I felt so terrible and I couldn't explain it? Well, I was determined to find out, and through my own answers and prayer and faith, I set out on a path that clearly showed me the way. But I wanted some quick answers, and don't we all? Being as stubborn as I am, my life showed me something that was very unexpected. I was looking for happiness, love, and abundance in the wrong place. And I was looking for everyone else in my life to provide that for me, just like in the movies or on TV. And I thought I was entitled. And after working with other leaders and coaches and motivational speakers and reading some great books, this all gave me the tools and tips on how to get the answer. And after walking down that path for well over 10 years, I got it. And I just about fell over when I realized the truth. How come no one teaches you this stuff in school? ABC 1, 2, 3 doesn't even compare to what I had learned. And this was like the treasure in the treasure box that we all hope to find secretly hidden in our house somewhere or buried in the backyard from our ancestors. I found me, and I realized that old cliche. No one else can make me happy. No one else can provide for me, and no one else can even satisfy my needs. And no one even has a clue what does it for me. And it isn't their job. It's my job. So what did this mean for me? It meant figure out what excites me, figure out what scares me, and figure out what I would love to try doing. Figure out what I'm feeling and figure out a way to communicate it all. I was lacking deep communication skills, and I didn't even have a clue to understand what I was feeling and how to express it. So I learned because I was forced to learn, and I kept on learning. I love to read, take courses, meet others, and share experiences. And lo and behold, I became so grounded and I felt so fulfilled and genuinely happy that I can't stop smiling because I love my life and I love me. And then some incredible things started happening for me where I was attracting beautiful people into my life personally and professionally. And I became very intimate with myself and others. And that just created beautiful, passionate love in my life. And for me, the loneliness dissipated. People trust me and want to share with me. So I've designed this show to help you do the same. Sit back and enjoy as we all learn how to figure it out intimately as I bring on amazing guests. And we all share stories, challenges, and some great tips on how to give you all that fun, passion, and intimacy back into your entire life that you deserve also. If you'd like to call in, the number is 1-888-346-9141. Or if you'd like to send me an email, please do so at tammeron@figureitoutlive.com or hit the email host button here on the Empowerment Channel. That comes directly into my email box, does not go to the radio station. So today, I don't have a guest. Hopefully someone will call in if they do have any questions. The name of my show today is called Entrepreneur Exhaustion. And why am I doing this? Well, as you guys all know, pretty much everything on my show is a reflection of my personal life, my business life, and guess what happens? We all know this, the law of attraction. Who are the type of people that we start to attract? Well, I attract the same people that are going through the same things. And so because I had to try and really get myself back on track, it's been a brutal winter here in Southern Ontario. Everybody's been cold, living on carbs, not going out, not getting the exercise, the fresh air that we've been desiring because the weather, unfortunately, has really kept a lot of people inside. We still have snow here, believe it or not, in Ontario, and it's been a really, really tough winter. And so a lot of people are really suffering. And so what I had to do was to call on the people that I know. I had to call on those experts, the people I know in my industry, in the health and wellness industry. I had to get some tips from these guys, or I just had to revisit some of my own knowledge, which today that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share 5 simple tips. If you are suffering with exhaustion as well, things that can get you back on track. And one of the reasons why I want to share this with entrepreneurs is basically because as entrepreneurs, we tend to try and do it all. And I realize that in the beginning of our business or when we're going through some major changes, sometimes we don't have those finances available to have the other staff. So what we do is we start organizing things, replanning, which is exactly what I did. And we get to that point, or I've gotten to that point where I feel like I'm ready to expand. And so instead of giving up and saying, oh, I just can't do this anymore, it's time to just recheck, realign yourself, look at your schedule, start doing things a little bit differently and implement them so that you have the energy and you've got the mental focus so that you can function as an entrepreneur, and then you can start bringing in those other people that you need. It's just a flick of a switch, but the point is not to give in. The point is just to be more effective. So one of the things I like to do, of course, is share my own stories. And what I realized was that a lot of books I read, and I'm sure a lot of other entrepreneurs listening understand the same thing. In this industry, it's a lot about law of attraction, what are we thinking, what are we focusing on? And a lot of times I read a book and sometimes there's just like one little sentence in the book that really rings true. And makes a big difference in my life. And so that's what I want to share, just like I talk about in my intro. And so basically what's happened for me is that, there's just been a few books that I've been reading lately, but when I sit and I meditate in the morning, sometimes it's just something sticks out and I have to go a little bit deeper. I have to ask myself, okay, what is it I don't see in the moment? And to allow myself to just listen a little bit more deeply so that I can hear what it is that I need to hear. And it's almost like in my intro as well, I was seeking for things outside of myself. So in other words, oh, if I just had this, I would be happy. Oh, if I just had that person in my life, everything would be better. Oh, if I had that assistant, I could be more successful. And so instead of waiting for things to happen, what I believe, based on the information I've been reading, is that just do it anyways, and those things will appear. So in other words, stop believing that those things need to be here already to create the life you live. So, as an example, we're talking about entrepreneur exhaustion. So instead of running yourself ragged, what I realized I needed to do was to really get my schedule down pat so that I made sure I was looked after first. And since I'm a morning person, and a lot of entrepreneurs are, they're very creative in the morning, and I know there's a lot of people who are at night, but I tend to attract people who are similar to me, so I'm speaking to you guys. So if your morning is your brilliant time, when you've got all your ideas and you feel so creative, what I want you to do is to do what I had to do, is to make sure you're scheduling that time for yourself in the morning. So this is the time where you need to focus on writing out your goals. What's the priority that you need to focus on in your business? What do you need to remember to focus on for yourself, like to plan time for yourself? And we're going to go through some things today about what those things might be, and to make sure that you do that, because what seems to happen is that people don't look after themselves, and I've gone through waves of this myself. They don't look after themselves personally when they're entrepreneurs, and so they don't have the energy, they're not getting exercise, they're not eating right, and so they're just exhausted on all levels. And so what they keep saying to themselves is, oh, if I just had more money or whatever, then I could hire people, and then I could start exercising, and then I could take more time off. And the truth is, you just got to start doing it. You just got to start giving yourself. So we're going to work on today approximately 1 hour. All right. So this could be 1 hour first thing in the morning. It could be 1 hour at some point in the morning. Again, so we're trying to make sure that you guys get focused. So this is one of the key things I want to talk about today is rescheduling your lifestyle as an entrepreneur. Because when you can be more organized and more self-managed, you're going to be more successful in your business. But it's just like being on that airplane. You got to put your own mask on first before you can help others. As an entrepreneur, you got to remember this. This is key. So what I want you guys to do is to think about, could you literally at some point put together an hour within your day, because entrepreneurs tend to work more than 8-hour days. So is it that you can put an hour aside in the morning, or can you put a half an hour aside, and could you put a half an hour aside at some point later on in the day? So this is crucial. If you don't have a schedule, some people can go and they're great at Excel spreadsheets. Go in there, put your time frames of, the time you get up. So for me, example, it's 7 o'clock before I'm really functional. 7 o'clock and my workday pretty much wants to end. I really would like to end it by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock the latest. I leave my evenings for speaking engagements. I leave my evenings for events and that kind of stuff. So I tend to work best and to do my best work during the day. So again, for me, I like to do networking and business events during the daytime because I'm a morning person. So I can't really carry those heavy-duty, focused business conversations in the evening. So that's my personality. And so I use that as my strength. And so I don't allow myself, to worry about it, because if that's what I focus on, then I'm going to attract that. And so what I tend to do is I tend to attract people and other events where I can really have those conversations during the daytime. All right. So you could be the opposite. So remember that whatever I'm saying right now is you can apply that to however that is for you. All right, so I'm going to give you guys some more strategies throughout the breaks. I'm going to recap some things. And if you have any questions or if you feel like calling in, please do so. Again, that number is 1-888-346-9141. So if you have any specific questions you want to ask me today, then please feel free to call in. So I'm ready for my first break. I just want to remind you, this is Tammeron, and you're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So stay tuned for more tips on how I can help you if you are exhausted in your business as well.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
What does creme de la creme mean? It's the greatness of living, the willingness to be the best. It's living beyond what you know is possible with no limitation. Access Consciousness presents Creme de la Creme, a program that empowers you to choose and create the life you would like to have and entices you into being who you are, not who others would have you be. It's the best of the best. It's the finer things in life. It's brilliant. It's fun. It's exciting. Join us for Creme de la Creme every Tuesday at 12 noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel.
Your favorite Voice America Talk Radio Network shows and hosts are in your car, outdoors, and wherever you need them to be. Listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron, and I just want to remind you guys, if you do like to follow people on Facebook, my personal page is Tammeron Karam, and my business page is Tammeron's Place on Facebook. So a lot more updates on workshops and events on the business page. And again, I can only have so many people on my personal page, so eventually I'm going to have to get to that point where I'm going to have to just switch over and use the business page as well. But people do love to follow me because I intimately share real stuff. So you get to see what it's like for me to be an entrepreneur, just like many other people, the ups, downs, good, bad, ugly, it's whatever it is. And I share that. So very open about that, and I do love it. I get a lot of private messages. That's how people contact me. So yeah, if you feel you want to do that, please go to that. Again, also check out my YouTube channel, Tammeron TV, or sometimes it flips to Tammeron K. We don't know why. My social media gurus keep changing it, and YouTube likes to always change it back. So depending on the day is what you're going to find. But lots of great videos on there. We're going to start doing more as well. We're getting a lot of feedback from the people who've been watching, again, saying I talk about real things. These are real issues entrepreneurs have in their personal and their business life, because it does affect all aspects of your life when you're an entrepreneur. More and more people are choosing to be entrepreneurs. And so, you know, we have a lot we got to deal with. I do have different workshops and events specifically for entrepreneurs that can help you become more intimate with yourself in your business. Those are the events called Who Am I? And I Am the Expert. So basically we help you zone in on some of your skills and your uniqueness that makes you stand out in your field. So for example, we could have 10 different real estate agents, and each one of you could have a unique set of people that you're really destined to work with. And I honestly believe they're people who are a mirror image of yourself. So it's a lot easier for you to communicate with them, to make friends with them, and where you're going to find them, because you're not just grabbing any client. You're speaking and hoping to find clients who have a lot in common with yourself and a very mirror image of your life. So that's what I work with entrepreneurs in those two workshops. I do have group workshops available. I do get people asking me if I can do them online. I've been saying yes to everybody, so I've been doing the same workshops for people personally and through Skype, so we can really work together. Sometimes a 2.5 workshop that's meant for a group, I can have put together and we can work one-on-one for 90 minutes and get the same result. So please check out my website, tammeronsplace.com, see what's going on there. Those are the 2 workshops of that. And like I said, when you start to notice changes in your business life and you've got more time, and you know, maybe you've let some things slip in your personal life and you'd like to reconnect with your partner, I do have other workshops available for that as well. Again, those are for couples and single women only. Sorry guys, can't help you out there, but I can refer you to other sex and relationship coaches if that is what you're looking for, because again, a lot of those people have been guests on my radio show here, and so they have their unique gifts and skills that they are willing to teach engaged with their clients as well. So again, I'm building a community of people. Always feel free to contact me. There's a free 15-minute consultation call through my website, again, tammeronsplace.com. So if you do have any questions, I can set that up for you. You can do it directly through my website. And if I can't help you during that consultation call, I guarantee I know somebody who can. So please check it out. So we're going to get back to the show today. It is entrepreneur exhaustion. What do you do when you're just totally wiped out? You've been working so hard to build your business or to rebrand yourself, just like I've done, and you got to get yourself out there and you just feel like you're ready to just throw in the towel. So, this has happened to me a few times, and basically I know the signals, I know what's starting to happen, and so I've done things in my life where I can get myself back on track quicker because I've been there, and I've been through those points where it's been ups and downs. So the first thing I talked about before the first break was you really got to focus on yourself first. Again, like I said, it's like being on an airplane. You got to give yourself that oxygen mask first before you can serve anybody else. And that means even as an entrepreneur, if you're wiped out, can't focus, you got so many things on the go that you're not having good conversations with people, you're not really listening to what they're saying, it's going to affect you in your business. And you might lose clients, you may not have the right conversations with people, so on and so forth. So that can affect your business. And so you've really got to focus on how are you going to manage your time more effectively? How are you going to look after yourself? And I find for me, what works best is when I take an hour in the morning for myself. So what are some of the things I like to do? Well, the first thing I like to do is I like to focus on my water intake. I know this sounds crazy, but you know what? There's a lot of people out there that know we got to drink a lot more water. So when you're feeling tired and sluggish, usually that first sign is because you're dehydrated. Believe it or not, it affects your brain. It affects your cells. It affects how you focus. It affects mental clarity, all these lovely things. And you know, it's something found in nature. So again, good quality water. I've done radio shows on this a long time ago. We could look them up. I can give you the dates. But my personal water unit that I still love and use is the Kangen water systems. So I'm not here to promote them, talk about them, but if you do want further information, again, please contact me, Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com, or click the email host button here and I can help you out with further information on that. But I'm going to talk about water in general right now. I've taken the information from a book which, when I did have my health food store here, I sold so many copies of this book. I had people come back after reading the book, hugging me, one man crying, an elderly man crying because he didn't realize he was dehydrated, and he was so sick. And basically, this book is called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty, Water for Health, for Healing, and for Life. And it's written by, oh boy, that's the name of it. I can't even pronounce this guy's name. He's the same author of Your Body's Many Cries for Water. So again, contact me if you want further information, but I'm going to read you just a little tiny bit of the book because this is just fascinating information. So I make sure that I've got my water set aside. If you travel a lot during your business, get that water bottle out, or you've got to have a mental note somewhere that you're drinking. I don't care if you're buying bottled waters, a bottle, standard bottle of water, how many cups of water. You basically need 8 cups of water a day. So that's like 2 750 ml water bottles. 1 liter is just under 8 cups or just around 8 cups. It's pretty high up there. So if you sip it throughout the day, whatever it is you need to add to your water, if you got to make it taste better, you can use essential oils. You can add a little bit of fruit juice. You name it. You can add stevia. I don't care what it is. Get that water into your body. All right. So it says here, Chapter 6 in this book, Newly Recognized Thirst Perceptions. The following are perceptive feelings, interesting word, some of which are labeled psychological disorders that I believe signal dehydration. And this is coming from the author. Number 1, feeling tired without a plausible reason. Water is the main source of energy formulation in the body. And even the food that is supposed to be a good source of energy has no value to the body until it is hydrolyzed by water and energized in the process. Furthermore, the energy source for neurotransmission and for the operational directives that get things done is hydroelectricity, which is formed in the nerve pathways and their connection to the muscles and joints in the body. Isn't that fascinating? So in other words, everything's got to be connected, your brain, the joints, and muscles. Okay, feeling flushed. When the body is dehydrated and the brain cannot draw sufficient water from the circulation to satisfy its needs, it commands a proportionate dilation of the blood vessels that reach it. So furthermore, the face is not a simple organ that supports eyes, a mouth, a nose, and 2 ears. It's a receptor dish with an abundant supply of nerve endings that constantly monitor the environment and report their information to the brain. In other words, the face is an extension of the brain with highly sensitive functions. So if you're someone with a red nose and flushed face, often seen in alcoholics, because alcohol truly dehydrates the brain, leading to hangover headaches, that person is dehydrated and in need of water. So check yourself out. If you find you're getting flushed very easily, it's a sign of dehydration. So that's really simple for people. I just love this book. This is such a fascinating book. Feeling irritable and unreasonably short-tempered. Irritability is a cop-out process so as not to engage in a brain energy-consuming involvement beyond that particular moment. Give irritable people a glass of water and you'll see them calm down and become fairly amiable. Feeling anxious. This is a perceptive way in which the frontal part of the brain can reflect its concern over water shortage in its domain of activity. I cannot imagine a more elegant way for the thinking brain to reflect its anxiety about dehydration in the body of its delinquent owner. So obviously when the body wanted water, it must have been given other beverages that did not satisfy its real needs. Okay? Feeling dejected and inadequate. This capital asset of any body are its essential amino acid reserves. All right, so these are included for neurotransmission. That their shortage in the body means loss of acids that the brain assesses as insufficient and inadequate for its undertakings. All right, another one, feeling depressed. Amazing. This heralds a more serious phase of dehydration in which the body, in the absence of water, has to use up some of its vital assets as antioxidants to cope with the toxic waste of metabolism that has not been cleared by sufficient production of urine. And these assets include the amino acids tryptophan and tyrosine, which are sacrificed in the liver as antioxidants to neutralize that toxic waste. All right? So for the manufacture of serotonin, melatonin, tryptamine, and all the others, the brain uses tryptophan. All of these elements are vital neurotransmitters that are used to balance and integrate body functions. If they are inadequate in the body, depression sets in. It's just that simple. Okay, guys? So I don't want to talk anymore. Those are 6 reasons why that you need more water. Here's a couple more. Feeling heavy-headed and disturbed sleep. All right? So very, very important. You need to drink water. If you're sluggish, tired, feeling anxious, depressed, there's more reasons why. It's not just because of what's going on in your body. Water is so essential for life. It's so essential for so many things. So believe it or not, a simple book like this that literally only costs $15 in the US would be well worth your money. Again, the name of this book is called You're Not Sick, You're Thirsty. Water for health, for healing, for life. I'm always bugging people when they say to me they got something going on, especially my kids. Did you drink your water today? Because sometimes I get caught up in this as well, especially when you're traveling and moving around a lot. People don't drink water. They drink alcohol, they drink caffeine, even tea. Sometimes tea has caffeine in it, which all of those things deplete your body's energy, because they're actually pulling water out of the body, not putting it in. So, for example, 1 cup of coffee, believe this or not, you need to drink 8 cups, not 8 humongous glasses, just 8 250 ml cups of water to replenish what 1 cup of coffee does. So if you're a coffee drinker, I guarantee you are dehydrated. All right, so if you're using coffee to stay through your day, not a good idea. Okay, so it's that break time again. I just want to remind you guys, it's Tammeron. You're listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel. So stay tuned for a couple more tips after the break.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet?
Why not?
Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings at the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our timeline. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Each week, Jimmy Gould brings you the stories and the people that you want to hear about. Tune in to Our Current Life to hear about the journey to success, how our guests became the people they are today, and the highs and lows they experienced along the way. Each hour will leave you inspired and entertained as Jimmy gets up close and personal with every week's guest and shares ideas you can identify with and apply to your own life. A Current Life with Jimmy Gould airs Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, noon Pacific Time on the Voice America Variety Channel.
Save on your prescriptions with the RX Savings Plus drug discount card offered by Voice America. It is not insurance, and discounts are only available from participating pharmacies. But 9 out of 10 pharmacies participate nationwide. Start saving today. Print your free card online at voiceamerica.rxsavingsplus.com or text the word TALK RADIO to 96362.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron. So, quick little recap. What are we talking about today? Entrepreneur exhaustion. Again, I've had my ups and downs of this as well. So I'm sharing some really quick tips on how to get back on track myself. Because sometimes as an entrepreneur, we get a little bit crazy. We start doing a little bit too much. And when you go too far, it's harder to get yourself back on track. So it's better to get those tools in your toolbox and pull them out faster. So I'm not going to talk a lot about the next topic because we all know it. I don't know how much people like to practice it. We hate hearing this, but I have to say it. A lot of entrepreneurs eat out a lot. And I'm not knocking specific restaurants or any places in particular. I'm just saying in general, most restaurants use a lot of prepackaged foods. It's a lot of microwaved, which means there's very little nutrients in it. And so that does affect your energy level. So if you're someone who refuses to have a lunch, you don't feel comfortable, you don't have the time, and it is a problem for you, then my only other suggestion is go to places where they use real fresh food ingredients. And wow, if you're lucky and you really want to go big, again, organic handmade food. So depending on where you live in your city and whatever, I realize that does affect certain things, but you will notice a difference when you're eating healthier and when you stay away from those processed foods and the GMOs. So it is a huge issue for people. I do tend to notice that a lot of people who eat out a lot and drink alcohol through the day tend to complain that they're tired all the time. And that's one of the reasons why. A, they're not getting the water like we talked about. They're not scheduling that time. They're not putting themselves first which I talked about at the beginning of the show. And again, now this part of it is to eat better. And, when you get in the habit of doing something, after a little while, it just gets easier and easier. So when you start to feel better, you're going to feel like wanting to get up earlier or preparing at night, whatever it is, and then it starts to snowball. So it does take sometimes a week or two to feel those effects, but you do feel the difference. Again, some other tips on how can you do that? Well, start your day with something light. Fresh fruit is always easy first thing in the morning. Again, it's easy to assimilate in the body, which means your body's not trying to break down all the food from the night before. It's still eliminating. And so by just keeping your breakfast light, I know breakfast is important. I'm not saying don't have breakfast, but don't just have liquids or don't just have water or whatever. Get something in your system that's easy to assimilate and break down so that your body's not wasting all the energy trying to break down big heavy meals from your breakfast, because again, that's what your body is using its energy to break down these heavy meals. And so again, that's why you get tired. It sounds bizarre, but it's so simple. So one of the best ways to actually learn this kind of stuff is food combining. Lots of great books out there. I'm not going to recommend a book on that. Again, there's probably so much free online. So if you need to learn that, it's so simple to do. It's one of the first books I ever read on nutrition back in my early 20s. Again, Fit for Life was the first book that ever came out, or just anything that talks about food combining. So lots of great information there. That will make a difference. The next thing I really want to share is I did have the actual Canadian president of this company on my show a few months ago, but the technology is just getting so huge right now. There's just so much expansion with this company. They're seeing the most amazing health results with people. Again, so if you're suffering from that depression, anxiety, or you have no energy to go on, this technology is worth its weight in gold. There's just so much I can say about this. So it is called PMF technology. The website, Ali Ox is the Canadian president, is pmfglobal.com. Please check it out if you'd like to, or find some information, contact me. Again, hit the email host button here on the host page. I can connect you with Ali herself, or I can provide you with more further information. They are revamping the website right now. It's still live, but there's going to be lots of changes on there because there is so much going on in the health and wellness industry here in Canada. So there's going to be lots of amazing things on there very soon. But I'm just going to share a little bit about what it actually is, because PMF is a technology that not too many people are familiar with. But what it refers to is pulsating electromagnetic fields. So I'm just going to briefly share this with you, because this might give you an idea of what it is. So, and I can't pronounce this guy, but Yuri Gagarin was the first human to journey into outer space and completed an orbit of the Earth in 1961. So this is when this technology originated. And when he returned from this flight to Earth, he suffered from depression, bone loss, muscle degeneration, decreased metabolism, and impaired perception. And since that historic flight, zero field studies have confirmed that unless living cells are exposed to a pulsed magnetic field, they die within hours. So this is what is on the surface of the planet, okay? It's that electromagnetic field. So without the Earth's electromagnetic field, humans cannot survive. So PMF, pulsed electromagnetic fields, are ignition that keeps all the 70 trillion cells in your body charged at an optimal level, allowing all your cells to maximize the oxygen, the water, and the nutrient transfer, as well as the elimination of waste products. Okay, so the problem is, in the past 30 years, with the advent and proliferation on biologically incompatible man-made frequencies, referred to as this electrosmog, our health has come under siege, and there is a worldwide increase in stress, depression, insomnia, autoimmune, chronic pain, and cancer, that big C. It's also a reality that this ever-increasing electropollution is interfering with the low-level natural electromagnetic field on the Earth, which is so vital to our health. So, unless you're somebody who's walking around every day barefoot and you are touching the earth, I'm not talking about pavement. If you're actually touching the earth for at least 20 minutes to half an hour a day, you are not picking up those frequencies, the natural frequencies from the earth. All right, so this is huge. It's a huge epidemic on how we're living. So the solution to it is to use this technology. And the solution is this man-made health problem. It's an earth-based low-frequency PMF device, all right, which mimics the Earth's magnetic field in frequencies and intensities, all right? So this technology delivers a frequency, and this is, in essence, the body is exposed to a bundle of natural frequencies by allowing all the cells in the human body to resonate with their own frequency. And you only need to use this technology for 8 minutes a day. Okay, so again, this can be part of that 1 hour in your day that you are looking after yourself. And if you use this twice a day, it's maximum. So 8 minutes in the morning, some point in the early morning, midday, and then 8 minutes at night in the evening before you go to bed, or at some point during the evening, okay? So these devices have been created for home use. They're not overly expensive. They're extremely affordable for everybody. They've been on the market for several decades, and now this company is now in Canada for, I think, 7 or 8 years now. When this company first actually came to Canada, I was exposed to it. I was invited by someone who was he was a man who was just involved in so many different health talks and seminars, and he was very knowledgeable, and he had heard about this technology, and he had called me up because at that time I was suffering from depression. I'd also just found out that I had hypothyroidism, which is an autoimmune disorder, and I was suffering from a severe concussion. And so we were trying some different natural things, natural remedies to help me, and nothing was really giving me results. And so they had been introduced to this, and so they had called up a bunch of their clients, and they said, would you like to just come and try this and let us know if you feel anything, if you can feel a result or whatever. So lo and behold, I said, sure, I'll try anything. And I went, and they put me on the machine actually for 24 minutes. It was longer than 8 minutes. They said, because I had severe issues going on, and they said, please try it. And after about 10 minutes, I felt a shift. I felt a shift in my head, especially because I was suffering from a concussion. And it was almost like the pressure in my brain was being released. And I never had it again. It was literally like my concussion had just dissolved within this 10 minutes. And I couldn't believe it. So after the 24 minutes, I looked at her and I said, how much are these things? It was back then, I think, just over $4,000 with tax here in Canada. Now they've got some better deals and a better technology now. They've improved the technology huge. And I ended up buying 2 units. I have 1 unit for my personal life, my family, and I also have another unit that I share with friends and family, people who are suffering and want to try it as well, because it's been used for so many different things. People that have had, for women, PMS, it can be used for, I've had, my kids even had burns, second-degree burns, broken bones, all that kind of stuff, helps with that kind of stuff, just on and on. It just goes on for so many things, even just backache, pulling a muscle. I've had people spring their feet, muscles in their feet. After half an hour, their feet were fine, they were walking again. So I could share lots of testimonials. So I'll talk a little bit more about it after my last break here, but again, this technology is called pulsed electromagnetic field, so it will work hand in hand with your food and your water to give you that energy back that you need as an entrepreneur. So a last break, and then when we get back, I'll recap and share a little bit more. So stay tuned for more with me, Tammeron, on Let's Figure It Out Intimately here on the Empowerment Channel.
The future of online TV is here. View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tammeron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Save on your prescriptions with the RX Savings Plus drug discount card offered by Voice America. It is not insurance, and discounts are only available from participating pharmacies. But 9 out of 10 pharmacies participate nationwide. Start saving today. Print your free card online at voiceamerica.rxsavingsplus.com or text the word TALK RADIO to 96362.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tammeron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tammeron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tammeron for the last part of my show. So today I'm talking about entrepreneur exhaustion. And so what do we do when we find that, we're just burning the candle at both ends and we need more staff, the business is ready to just take off, and yet you're exhausted. You don't want to give in. A lot of people, it's when they start to get sick. So the whole point of today's show is to give you guys some tips on how to really get your life and your health back on track so that you can really focus on your business a little bit better. So I've talked about a few things already. Let's recap because we're in the last part of the show here. We talked about scheduling that time for yourself. All right. So something where you're getting a little bit of exercise, you're planning your food a little bit better. You're making sure how you're going to get your water intake and, putting some time aside for some other small things. So that was the first step, is to plan it, is to create that schedule. Second, talked about the importance of water, good quality water, and to make sure of the other things that you're drinking that are not actually depleting water out of your body. Okay. So be careful about that. The food, quality of food you're eating. Again, you need food that's got real energy in it, not processed. A lot of restaurant food, which is what a lot of entrepreneurs do, they eat out constantly. And so I just don't know if that's actually that healthy. So take charge of your health, start planning your meals, start bringing some food with you, or eat in places where the food is fresh. And if you're so lucky, organic as well, my favorite. So the last thing I talked about just before the break was PMF technology. Again, using this system 8 minutes in the morning, 8 minutes later in the day is going to enhance everything else I've talked about. It's like making sure the water is moving in your body. It's going to increase the absorption of the food and the water. Okay. Again, 8 minutes to just lie on this machine is going to enhance your immune system. It's going to help with depression, anxiety, all those things. So what's the last thing I'm going to share with you? Well, believe it or not, it's about a little bit of yoga, but only 7 minutes a day is what you need. This book is so amazing. Again, I love to share knowledge, and I found out about this book from somebody who actually interviewed me on their radio show, and I was following him on Facebook, and it was not what I expected. The book's called The Promise of Love, Sex, and Intimacy. He said it was the best book he had ever read. The tag here is How a Simple Breathing Practice Will Enrich Your Life Forever. I started doing this, and really, this author, Mark Whitwell, what he does is he breaks down to a few exercises you need to do, and it only takes 7 minutes a day. It's a lot of breath work on focusing how to create that space where you're breathing in more in the upper part of your body. And it's just the simple breath work and putting your body through extremely simple poses. Like, they are so simple, anybody can do this. And what you're going to find is that there's a balance between what we intake, so in other words, what we receive, and what we tend to give. And as entrepreneurs, when you're starting out, you tend to give too much. You give away that free information, always trying to look for that, way in. And so sometimes this creates a depletion where, it gets harder and harder. And so a lot of other things start to happen in the body. So when you start doing these exercises, I felt it right away. And it just calms you down. It helps with the stress and the anxiety, but it also teaches us how to breathe properly. And when you're breathing properly, it creates that harmonious balance, and there's a connection that's even deeper than I can even explain. So yoga is crucial. I'm not a big yoga guru. I don't spend hours doing yoga. I prefer sports, but I do know how yoga is important, because yoga is important because of the breath. All right. This book was so amazing. It's for the busy person. It would be awesome for entrepreneurs. Again, it's called The Promise of Love, Sex, and Intimacy by Mark Whitwell. I would love to have him as a guest on my show. I'm going to hopefully try and get him on in the future. We can talk a little bit more about it in detail, but I would highly suggest. It's not on my website yet, but please check it out. It is an amazing book. So again, you can do a little bit of exercise. You can eat well. You can drink some water. You can get on the PMF technology, which is a body mat. It doesn't sing, dance, make vibration or whatever, heat. It just literally is a mat. You don't feel it. But it's got the copper wiring in it, which is what you need to ground your body into the earth if you are not spending time in nature and walking around barefoot, which many of us don't, especially in the winter. Here, just like us Canadians. All right, so again, I've shared 5 tips with you guys. These are all things that I use, and I find sometimes things get out of whack, and I realize, even in the winter, I was drinking a lot of things, eating a lot more carbs than I normally would. I wasn't getting my water intake. So again, it's what are those things that are so simple and can get us back on track so fast. So that's what I've shared with you guys today. I'm encouraging you to check out some of my workshops and events that I've got going on here. Again, a lot of people have approached me through Facebook who don't live locally, and they say, geez, I wish you could have some of these workshops and events going on here where I live. Again, I always say yes. So a lot of the things that you see on my website, tammeronsplace.com, check it out, because I can also offer that same advice to you in my workshops and events by just doing a private workshop one-on-one over Skype or over the phone. And a lot of the work I do, I can record it as well easily for you, especially if you're using Skype. I've got some extra added technology on there, and I can provide you the link, and then you can listen to it again. Because really, I want your business to be successful. So I share a lot of my own personal stories. I share what's worked for me, and it doesn't mean to say that there's other things that don't work. I just haven't tried it, and I haven't found out about it. Again, I'm a guinea pig. I love to try different things. I love to see who's doing what, because people come to me for advice. And so I share my own experiences. And along the way, I meet amazing people who are doing incredible things, writing great books, have some really cool techniques, and are just, needing that exposure as well. Because as entrepreneurs, all of us people out there getting our own business started, we tend to want to help each other. So again, these are the people that I like to work with, because why? They're a mirror of me. And that's exactly what I teach in my workshops, is to help you find out who your ideal clients are. So it is really cool when you figure that out. Oh, isn't that amazing? Name of my show. So I just want to say thank you for taking the time out to spend it with me here today on my show. And I hope you've laughed or you've resonated with me in some way, or you feel compelled to listen again to the recorded version, or share this with your friends. And always remember that my life is the same as yours, and I'm not perfect. I'm just human, and I'm a crazy chick who wants to have more fun in her life without ever having to give up my personal boundaries. I want to be respected and respect all the people, the friends and the coworkers, family and lovers in my life. And I needed to learn how to communicate, share, and laugh at myself, and most of all, listen to the needs of the people that I cared about, so I received the life that I fantasized about when I was young. And I didn't create it the first first time around, but I certainly found the tools to create what I want now. And that is exactly what I love to do the most, is to pass that knowledge to you, my listeners. So thanks again for listening, and I hope you remember to come back again next week for another crazy show here with me, Tammeron, on Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So cheers for now.
Thank you again for listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. Please join Tammeron again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Let's figure it out intimately. Again.